So getting back. So in the previous session, we started discussing discussion about disqualifications. In that, few disqualifications we have already covered. Now let us discuss few more important disqualifications. 1 minute, be online. Yes. So the next disqualification is if the auditor or his firm, having business relationship with the company, holding company, subsidiary company, associate company, sister company, subsidiary of associate. This is one more company which is added, but I'm telling you that much of in-depth observation is not required. Okay. So generally, if you look above 3 disqualifications, security, holding, and indebtedness, guarantee, 5 companies covered. These are the 5 companies which are covered. But in case of business relationship, subsidiary of associate company is also covered. But I'm telling you that much of observation is not required. Okay, fine. Just for the sake of your understanding, I'm telling you. If an auditor or a firm is having business relationship with these companies, then such auditor is disqualified. Business relationship is also termed as pecuniary relationship. Business relationship is also termed as pecuniary relationship. If you look at company law, if you look at section 71, debenture trustee concept, there who cannot be appointed as debenture trustee, disqualifications are there. A person who has a pecuniary relationship with the company cannot be appointed as debenture trustee. Pecuniary relationship means nothing but a business relationship. If the auditor is already having a business relationship, he cannot be appointed. Sir, what do you mean by business relationship? And is there any exception for this? Yes, there are 2 exceptions given. First of all, understand business relationship is of 2 kinds: commercial element, non-commercial relationship. Suppose if I am a consumer of a product, suppose I am buying products of the services. Products of goods and services of the company. I'm buying goods and services of the company as a customer, just like anybody customer. I'm paying cash, getting the service done. That is not considered as a business relationship. First exception, if auditor is acquiring goods and services of the company at arm's length price, just like any other customer, how he will get the price, I am also getting the price. Arm's length price of services or goods from a company, that is not treated as business relationship. Second one, permitted services I am providing already. Permitted services provided as per Companies Act or CA Act. Suppose to this company, I am already providing some services. Already I am having one business relationship. I am having one type of relationship with the company. What is that relationship? I am providing some services which are permitted. What do you mean by permitted services? Example, originally this company appointed me as auditor for income tax. I am doing first income tax act audit, or I am doing GST audit. GST audit, income tax audits are also stat audits. There also auditor is equally independent. The same person is now requested for company audit. Now, since auditor is already having income tax audit relationship, business relationship is already there, is auditor disqualified? No, because income tax audit, GST audit will come under permitted services. That permitted services is not treated as a business relationship with the client. The whatever services that are permitted to be rendered by a chartered accountant in practice to the company, they are not treated as a business relationship. So that's about business relationship point. Very simple. Next disqualification. A person cannot be appointed as an auditor. A person cannot be appointed as an auditor if he is already having 20 company audits. He is already having 20 company audits. What is this concept? This concept is called as technically audit ceiling. What is this concept? We technically call it as audit ceiling. What is the concept of audit ceiling? What the concept of audit ceiling? It says an individual cannot be appointed as an auditor for more than 20 companies. An individual cannot be appointed as an auditor for more than 20 companies. He cannot be appointed as an auditor for more than 20 companies. So what do you mean by that? Why this disqualification? Suppose you speak officer or employee, independence of mind will affect. You take securities holding in the company, independence will affect. Indebted to the company, independence will affect. Business relationship with the company, auditor duty, independence will affect. If I am auditing more than 20 companies, what's problem for you? I'm independent. No. Here it is not independence which is affecting. Here quality of audit affects. Quality of audit affects. If at all we did not fix a cap, if at all we did not put a limit on maximum number of company audits, the auditor's independence will affect. Sorry, quality of audit will affect. Quality of audit will affect. If at all there is no limit, I'm an individual, I'm practicing from past, let us assume 40 years. I know so many companies, all of them appointed me as an auditor. So I hardly spend one day on each company. I finalize every company. No quality at all. In order to protect quality of audit, ceiling limit has been prescribed. The disqualifications are there either to protect independence of the auditor or to ensure quality of the audit. One of the disqualification that looks for quality of audit is audit ceiling. Okay, sir. So individual cannot accept 20 companies. What do you mean by 20 companies, sir? Is it per year? Is it per year? Is it per financial year? How to count this? Is it per calendar? How to count this? Very simple. Don't even consider year or which year, nothing. Today, suppose today I'm the auditor and I'm practicing auditor right now. Some company approached me. Today, assume 25th April, a company approached me. Right now, they called me. They're asking me to accept the company audit. They gave a proposal. Now I need to check right now. Today, as on today, for how many companies I'm the auditor? I just look at all the company list wherever I'm acting as auditor. Right now, at this moment, which are all companies I'm acting as an auditor. I took a list of all the companies where I'm already acting as auditor. That list, this list total should not be more than 20. This list total should not be more than 20. So 20 companies means per year or what? No, 20 companies at any point of time. Simple. 20 companies at any point of time. Suppose today I have already 20 companies, so I rejected. After 2 months they came. Same logic. After 2 months also, on that date, I will just recap what are all the companies as on that date I am already acting as auditor. If that list is more than 20, I will not accept them. If it is 20 or less than 20, I'll accept it. If it is less than 20, I'll accept it. If it is 20, I will not accept it. Very simple. At any point of time, you should not accept. You should not act as an auditor for more than 20 companies. Now, sir, what if mine is a partnership firm? How the limit shall be counted? In case of partnership firm, you will have CA plus COP partners, right? Identify how many partners are having CA with COP. 4 partners. Then 4 into 20 apply. 80 audits you can take. 80 audits your firm can accept. Your firm can accept 80 on behalf of each partner 20. Sir, one more doubt. Out of this 4, sir, one partner is there. He is a partner in another firm also. In that another firm, this partner already signed 10 companies, sir. Now, in this firm, how many companies this partner can sign? Only 10. Only 10. Suppose if an individual is acting as a partner in multiple firms, the count of 20 shall be applied to that individual. He may be partner in one firm or partner in two firms or partner in three firms, doesn't matter. The count will be applied only for that person on behalf of all the firms. I should not sign more than 20 companies. If I already signed 10 companies here, in this form only 10 are left. That's how the limit has to be counted. Now, there are some companies that are not considered under ceiling limit. In audit ceiling of 20, while considering how many companies I'm doing audit, when I look at this question, the following companies don't consider. Private limited company having paid up capital less than 100 crore. A private limited company paid up capital less than 100 crore. A dormant company, one person company, small company. These are the companies which will not be considered in ceiling limit. What do you mean by not considered in ceiling limit, sir? Which means these type of companies, any number of companies you can act as an auditor. Sir, I have 101% companies, sir. Can I? Yes. Sir, I have another 100 small companies as well. Yes. I have another 10 private companies, sir, which are less than 100 crore. Yes, you can accept. Any number of companies you can accept this kind of thing. But of course, we have ICAI regulation which protect another ceiling. There is another ceiling limit for ICAI. ICAI rules, as per that rules, it is only 30 companies. There is no consideration like this also. But I'm telling you, this ICAI rule is not required for you. Please ignore. Only remember Companies Act point of view. Companies Act point of view, private company with paid up capital less than 100 crore, small company, dormant company, 1% company are not counted. Which means, which companies are counted? Private companies having more than or equal to 100 crore paid up capital. This will be counted in ceiling. Government companies are counted. Public limited companies are counted. Listed companies are counted. These are all the companies which are counted into ceiling limit. Foreign companies are counted. These are counted in ceiling limit. So that's one more disqualification. And another disqualification, a person who is in full-time employment. A person who is in full-time employment, if a chartered accountant is in full-time employment, he cannot be appointed as an auditor. Actually, there is so much to discuss in this point, but not required in a fast track revision. Okay, so a person who is in full-time employment elsewhere, if a chartered accountant is having full-time employment elsewhere, we will not appoint him as an auditor of a company. Next one. If an individual who is a chartered accountant is convicted by court, for an offense involving fraud. If a particular chartered accountant is proved as guilty of fraud, somewhere he was proved as fraud by court. Court declared him as a fraud. And the moment he was convicted, look at the conviction date. From that date, 10 years, he is disqualified for every company under Companies Act. He is disqualified for every company under Companies Act. For 10 years, he cannot act as stat auditor. He can do other services, but statutory auditor position he will lose. Suppose if the conviction of fraud by NCLT tribunal under 140 subsection 5, if the conviction is by tribunal under 140 subsection 5, then 5 years is the blockage. If the court convicts, 10 years is a blockage. If tribunal convicts, 5 years is the blockage. These are all disqualifications. Now there is one disqualification which is pending, where there is a big amendment. Applicable from May 2021 exams onwards mainly. Of course, November also it is applicable, but they are not. But May 2021 exams onwards, this is applicable. This amendment is applicable. Now you see this amendment carefully. Any person directly or indirectly renders any services as specified in 144 to what? Company, holding, subsidiary. If you see above, no, securities holding, indebtedness or guarantee, 5 companies covered. Business relationship, no, 6 group companies covered. Whereas here, no, 144 section services, no, 3 companies are covered. If I am providing either directly or indirectly some services, these services are prohibited. Why are they prohibited? If you are providing that, you are disqualified, no? So these are prohibited for auditor. That's why 144 section, the heading has been named as prohibited services for auditors. What is prohibited services for auditors? If you are providing this, you are disqualified. You are not providing this, you are not disqualified. So if an auditor is providing directly or indirectly, then any services specified in 144 to the company, holding company, subsidiary company, he is disqualified. Only 3 companies are covered. So before I explain this, what are 144 services? What are section 144 services? What are section 144 services? There is a doubt. Suppose I told that conviction point court. Suppose if auditor moves higher court, then what is the case? Very simple. If auditor goes higher court, if the higher court set aside the court order, lower court order kept under stay, whatever the court order convicted the auditor as fraud, no, if it is kept under hold, then auditor can act as an auditor. Suppose that is not kept under hold, higher court is still investigating simultaneously, then auditor cannot act as an auditor. Very fundamental point, no need to ask also. Okay, fine. Section 144. What are 144 services? If we provide 144 services, auditor is disqualified. If an auditor is providing 144 services directly or indirectly, to whom? To the company, holding company, subsidiary company. If to these 3 companies, if auditor is directly or indirectly providing 144 services, auditor is disqualified. Sir, what do you mean by directly, indirectly? I will discuss later. First, let us look at what is 144. What are 144 services? First and foremost services, bookkeeping services. If you are providing accounting services to the company, arey man, you are going to become the auditor for the company, you are disqualified. You are acting as internal auditor. Suppose you are providing internal audit services, you are disqualified. You are designing and implementing financial information system in the company, some SAP software or accounting software, you are designing and implementing the software, how that company should use that financial information software. You are designing that and implementing that. You cannot act as an auditor. Or you are providing actuarial services. You are having luckily actuary qualification also, and companies asking you to fix some insurance policy premiums. Companies called you for a fixing provision for employees benefits. For some reason they recruited you. Actuarial services, something management oriented. You are providing that services. Same time, company came to know that you are a chartered accountant also. So they requested you to act as an auditor. But then since you are already providing actuarial services to the company, you cannot act as an auditor. You cannot act as an auditor. Or you are providing investment banking services. Company wants some loans. You are providing project finance services. You are rendering services to the company so that company will get loan. Or you are acting as an underwriter to the company. You are providing something like banking services. Third one, investment advisory services. The company has approached you for investing their surplus money, and you are continuously monitoring the company surplus money. They invested as per your direction, they will sell as per your direction. Buy and sell, buy and sell. You will continuously guide the company. Simultaneously, you cannot act as an auditor. Here, your intention is to make the company grow. You are already partial towards the company. How can you act independently? Or next one, you are providing any management services. You are providing any other management consultancy. Company is asking you to file GST returns monthly. Company is asking you to file ETDS returns monthly. Some monthly compliances and all. Companies approaching you. You are providing management consultancy services. You cannot act as an auditor for the same company. Any other services prescribed. The residual final one is any other services prescribed. Any other services prescribed. Is there anything else that is missing? Just let me check it. Let me check out. Another one is outsourced financial services. Another service is outsourced financial services. The company has some financial services. They want some financial services, let us assume budgeting services, or employee review services, performance review services. Some service they want. That service you are providing. They're outsourcing you and you are providing that. You cannot be appointed as an auditor. So these are the services. If at all you are providing these 8 services and any other service, if it is prescribed, of course, only 8 are prescribed, remaining are not prescribed. If at all you are providing any of these services, no, you are disqualified. You are disqualified to become auditor of the company. By the way, to whom if you provide, you are disqualified. If you are providing to whom, you are disqualified. If the auditor directly or indirectly providing services under section 144, if an auditor directly or indirectly providing services under section 144 to the company or its holding company or its subsidiary company, then you are disqualified. Now the entire discussion, now here the amendment is, what do you mean by directly or indirectly? Here the amendment is, what do you mean by directly or indirectly refers to? Directly or indirectly refers to, you see the definition of directly or indirectly. See here, no, actually I split it like points. If you observe, I split it like 1 and 2 points, but you should read cumulatively. No need to read like split up. Directly or indirectly refers rendering services by person, means chartered accountant. Either himself, I am directly providing, through his relative or through my relative I am providing, or any other person. Another person is there, but connected or associated with me. I am providing services through another person. That person may be artificial person or natural person, whoever it is, another person, but they're connected to me, they're associated to me, in that person I can do significant influence, or I am controlling, or my name or trademark or brand is used by such person, shall be termed as rendering services directly or indirectly by the auditor. Example, what is directly or indirectly? If I render by myself, if I am rendering that services by myself or my relative, then everyone can understand. Or another person, through any other person, in which such person means me, in which me, the auditor, have significant influence or control, or trade name, brand, or any other my identity used by the other person, then it is assumed that company is providing directly or indirectly. Even if his trade name I am using, then also it is treated as if I am providing directly or indirectly. This example is very much suitable for Big Four. Suppose there is a chartered accountant firm called BCR and Co LLP. They are associated with KPMG. They are associated with KPMG. BCR and Co uses KPMG trade name and brand name. BCR and Co uses KPMG trade name or brand name. Now BCR and Co is acting as auditor for Infosys Limited. They are acting as auditor for Infosys Limited. Now there is another company, there is another firm called KPMG LLP. They want to provide designing and implementation of financial information system services to Infosys Limited or its holding company or its subsidiary company. Now BCR and Co is the auditor. It's associated enterprise. Is providing designing and implementation 144 services to the same company or holding or subsidiary, then BCR and Co is disqualified. BCR and Co, because this is indirect services. This is indirect 144 services. So that's the amendment. If a person, what is directly or indirectly means if a person is providing services either by himself or through his relative or by any other person who is connected or associated with such person, in which such person is having significant influence or control, or whose name or trade name or brand name or trademark is used by such person, is treated as indirect rendering of service. That's it. With this list of all disqualifications, we have completed. We have completed all disqualifications. We have completed all disqualifications. 141 subsection 3 we have completed. What is 141 subsection 3 summary as a whole? What it says, if a person who is a chartered accountant but affected with any of the following disqualifications shall not be appointed as an auditor. So if a company is appointing me, I need to check, am I having any disqualification? Only if none of the disqualification applicable, then I can accept the audit. Suppose a company approached me, I checked all the disqualification. Company also checked all the disqualifications. They decided that I am not disqualified. Then they appointed me. I sent engagement letter. I started conducting audit also. But in between, I affected with disqualification. I know 141 subsection 3, if disqualification is there, don't appoint him. What if I have appointed him because he is not disqualified, but later disqualification comes before expiry of term? Before expiry of term, before his appointment period is over, he is affected with disqualification. What is the consequence? That is called 141 subsection 4. Subsequent disqualification of an auditor. Subsequent disqualification of an auditor. What is subsequent disqualification? He is already auditor, but he is disqualified subsequently after appointment. If an auditor is appointed and affected with the disqualification, the law says he shall immediately vacate. He shall immediately vacate office of auditor. Office means position. The position of auditor you need to vacate because you are disqualified. You are no more eligible. And that vacancy, now auditor post is empty for the company. That vacancy is treated as casual vacancy under section 139 subsection 8. That vacancy is treated as casual vacancy. Sir, what is casual vacancy? Come on, wait, I'll discuss later. So if an auditor is appointed properly but affected with disqualification, he shall immediately vacate. Sir, he is disqualified without his knowledge. Doesn't matter. Whatever the reason it might be, he is disqualified, shall vacate immediately. Immediately the date on which he is disqualified. In fact, he doesn't know that he is disqualified. Law assumes he is no more an auditor. The law assumes he is no more an auditor. However, for immediate vacation, there is a relief. There is an exception. In this exception, you need not vacate immediately. You need not vacate immediately. You have given 60 days time limit to rectify the disqualification. In this only exception, you were given 60 days time limit to rectify the disqualification. What is that exception? Suppose after appointment, my relative shareholding exceeds 1 lakh. After appointment, my relative shareholding exceeds 1 lakh in face value. 1 lakh in face value. Actually, relative shall not hold more than 1 lakh, right? Up to 1 lakh he can hold. But my relative shareholding exceeded 1 lakh in face value. Disqualification arises. Should I immediately vacate? No. Wait for 60 days. Within 60 days, what you have to do? Tell your relative, sell the shares so that the face value is less than or equal to 1 lakh. Right now it is more than 1 lakh, right? Tell them to sell it. They sold within 60 days. Very good. On 61st day, you can continue. Suppose if the relative did not sell up to within 60 days, from 61st day, you are no more auditor. You are no more auditor. You are deemed to have been vacated. You have been vacated. You are no more auditor of the company. 60 days time limit is given. Now you may get it out. Sir, why only for this disqualification 60 days time limit is given? See, Suppose I'm having 80,000 worth of face value shares. I am relative to my, let us assume my spouse is an auditor. My wife is an auditor in a company. I'm the husband. My wife is the auditor. I am having shares in the company worth of 80,000 face value. She got the appointment letter. She accepted because my shareholding did not exceed 1 lakh. But later company declared bonus. It is not in my control. I didn't buy the share. Company declared bonus. Without my knowledge, company declared 1:1 bonus where my shares have exceeded 1 lakh automatically. Now my wife is disqualified. The moment I got bonus shares, within 60 days, I should sell at least so that my shareholding is less than 1 lakh. If I do this, she can continue as an auditor. Otherwise, she will be disqualified on 61st day. Here only automatically it will happen. I cannot borrow loan automatically. I cannot give guarantee automatically. I cannot enter into business relationship automatically. Without my knowledge, something that can happen is only this disqualification. If bonus shares are allotted, 1 lakh it exceeds automatically. I need not even interfere. Without my knowledge, it will happen. So that's why only for this 60 days time is given to rectify. That's it. So this is 141 subsection 4 disqualification after appointment. So entire 141 section we have covered. So entire section we have covered. Now the next concept is appointment of auditor. Appointment of an auditor. Just a few seconds, I'll have water and come. So the next concept is appointment of an auditor. Appointment of an auditor is covered under section 139 of the Companies Act. See, with respect to appointment, we need to discuss two concepts. Selection procedure for auditor. Selection procedure for auditor. Then we need to discuss about appointment procedure for auditor. What is the procedure for selection of auditor and what is the procedure for appointment? With respect to procedure for selection of auditor, the selection process is different for government company and the selection process is different for non-government company. Same way, appointment procedure is different for government company and appointment procedure is different for non-government company. Now, selection process of government company is not covered in our curriculum. It is not there. That will be done by C&AG rules. Selection process is determined by C&AG rules, C&AG empanelment, all that. That is not there in our syllabus. Non-government company selection, yes, that is covered in our syllabus. Section 120, 139, read with 177. These are the sections that play a role in selection process of auditor in case of non-government company. I will discuss that now. Once we understood the selection process, then we can discuss about appointment procedure. Now, what is a selection process? See, there is a concept called audit committee. There is a concept called audit committee. There are some companies, namely listed companies, specified public limited companies. There are some specified public limited companies. What is a specified public limited company? If you look at here, what are the public limited companies which are specified? all public companies having paid up capital 10 crore or more, turnover 100 crore or more, loans, borrowings, debentures, public deposits all together 50 crore or more. If these criteria, any one criteria satisfied by public company, that public company must establish audit committee. Sir, who will be there in this committee? What is this committee? This committee looks into all affairs related to audit and accounts. This is the committee. Now, who will form this committee? Sir, who will be the part of this committee? This committee shall consist of minimum 3 directors. Means directors will form this committee. Majority must be independent directors. Majority of the members, not all, and here there is a word called all, it's not all. Majority of the members of audit committee shall be able to read, understand financial statements. Reading financial statements and understanding is not easy. It requires commerce and accounting standards, policies, in-days knowledge. You can't just simply read and understand financials. So the persons who are part of audit committee must have the skill set to read and understand financials. Only these people can form audit committee. Now, okay, sir, audit committee will be there for listed companies and public, but it will not be there for private companies. Any size of, whatever the size of the private company, audit committee concept do not apply. Now, if it is a private company, so what is the procedure? See, like now I can decide selection process is different for selection process for non-government company. I'm talking about which company? Non-government company. Selection process for non-government company. If audit committee is available, if audit committee is there, what is the selection process? If no audit committee, what is the selection process? If there is no audit committee, board of directors in a board meeting will select the auditor, on a suitable basis. What is the experience, how many partners, how many articles, staff, what are the past works they handled. We look at profile of the auditor and select the auditor. Will select on an appropriate manner. Okay, then board of directors will select the auditor and recommend to members at AGM, at a general meeting, annual general meeting. Then members will appoint the auditor. So, but selection will be by board of directors. Because selection is by board of directors, always board of directors select an auditor who is friendly to them. That is the reason why all the scams are happening in India. Fine, that's another big issue which I can't discuss in the revision class. Okay, fine. So that is if no audit committee is there. Now, what is the procedure? If audit committee is there, what is the procedure? If audit committee is there, just give me 2 minutes gap. Just give me 2 minutes gap. So now getting back, what is the procedure for selection of auditor if audit committee is there? Look, audit committee is applicable for which companies? Public companies, listed companies. These are the companies in which public is having substantial interest. That's why in case of these companies, selection process is given to audit committee. Whereas audit committee, majority people are what? Independent directors. These are the directors who are very honest, who do not work only for the company. They work at the welfare of the society at large. They are not biased towards the company. That's why the selection process is given for audit committee. When audit committee is there, what is the procedure? Audit committee will select in audit committee meeting an auditor on appropriate basis. They will select the auditor. Now that selected auditor, no, they will recommend to board of directors. Now board of directors in board meeting, no, they will approve that auditor. That auditor approved by board of directors, they will be approved by members in AGM. This is the main procedure. Sometimes board of directors may not agree with audit committee for so and so reason. There can be various reasons. For so and so reason, board of directors cannot appoint an audit, cannot accept audit committee selection. In that case, audit committee shall select another auditor. Suppose if board of directors are not at all okay with audit committee selection, audit committee also don't want to select another auditor. They were sticking to original auditor selected, but board of directors don't want that auditor. Then board of directors are having a overriding power, and they can select the auditor on their own. Board of directors can select the auditor on their own and recommend it to members at AGM. Members will appoint that auditor. Now here you may get a doubt, sir, you only said because it's a public company, audit committee was given the power to select the auditor, but ultimately if board of directors are not liking the auditor, they can select their own auditor. No, in such case, what is the use of audit committee, sir? I'll tell you, whenever board of directors, whenever audit committee and board of directors disagree, whenever they disagree, board of directors report, shall mention, dear shareholders, originally auditor is selected by audit committee so and so person. We rejected him because of these grounds. We selected our auditor because of the conflict. That issue, whatever happened, you need to disclose to public. When you disclose this to public, what it conveys, something is wrong between audit committee and board of directors. Independent directors and normal directors, some fighting is happening, which means board of directors are doing some fraud. Maybe people will get notice about this. So the disclosure requirement is there. Whenever board of directors ignore audit committee decision, they need to disclose in board of directors report. At least for not disclosing it, they listen to audit committee. So that's the selection process of auditor in case when audit committee is there, in case when there is no audit committee. So that procedure is given here. You can read that later. Okay. Then now appointment procedure. So what is the procedure for appointment of an auditor? What is the procedure for appointment of an auditor? As I already told you, appointment procedure is different for government company and is different for non-government company. Appointment procedure is different for government company and non-government company. By the way, in this session, we are going to finish company audit. Some parts of company audit like CARO, reporting requirements, I will be discussing as part of audit reporting. Tomorrow, most important session which many students confuse, that is audit reporting. I'm going to revise tomorrow. This audit reporting is useful for CA final students as well. Fine. So appointment of an auditor. What is the procedure for appointment of an auditor in case of government company? What is the procedure for appointment of an auditor in case of non-government company? This is what is the procedure? Again, the appointment procedure is again split it into two types. What is the procedure for appointment of first auditor? What is the procedure for appointment of subsequent auditor? What is the procedure for appointment of first auditor? And what is the procedure for appointment of subsequent auditor? Non-government company also, what is the procedure for appointment of first auditor? What is the procedure for appointment of subsequent auditor? Now, first auditor means who? Subsequent auditor means who? First, we need to understand the term and then we need to discuss the procedure. First auditor is a person. See, actually, Companies Act have not defined anything. But based on understanding, let us give a suitable definition. First auditor means auditor appointed for year of incorporation, for the year in which company is incorporated, for the year in which company is incorporated means first financial year of the company. If we are appointing auditor, we call him as first auditor. Suppose that auditor is over, already appointed, appointment is over. Now next auditor we need to appoint. That auditor is subsequent auditor. Subsequent auditor is an auditor other than first auditor. Very simple. Other than first auditor. If the auditor is appointed for first financial year of the company, we will call him as first auditor. That's it. That's it. Now, so we will call them as first auditor. So what is the procedure for appointment of first auditor in case of government company? In case of government company, the first auditor shall be appointed by C&AG, Comptroller, COMPTROLLER, Comptroller and Auditor General. C&AG will be appointed by President of India. C&AG tenure will be for 6 years. C&AG is the one who will take care of all government related accounts and audit matters. In case of government company, C&AG will play a role of appointment of auditor. So C&AG will appoint a chartered accountant having certificate of practice or a firm of chartered accountants where majority partners or CS having certificate of practice. C&AG will appoint first auditor of government company within 60 days. Within 60 days from date of registration, which is also called as date of incorporation, within 60 days C&AG shall appoint. Suppose if C&AG fails to do so, which is practically impossible today, it is completely electronic, so the failure concept do not come, but theoretically if at all C&AG fails to do so, then board of directors can appoint within next 30 days. Suppose if board of directors also fails, they also forgot their duty, they don't know all that, they also forgot, then members of the company within next 60 days can appoint the auditor. Sir, what if members also fail? Companies Act is silent. Okay. Practically what happens is little different. If at all they fail, no, it won't appear like they fail. They appointed, but filing late. See, whenever we appoint auditor, we need to file a form with ROC, ADT, one form. We just mentioned to the ROC that we are filing late. But anyhow, that's a practical issue. Cannot be explained in revision class. Detailed sessions are different. Revision session is different. Revision, we just only give you main concept. Fine. So C&AG will appoint within 60 days from registration. If they fail, board will appoint within next 30 days. If they also fail, members will appoint within next 60 days. Sir, until when this auditor appointment is valid? Until first AGM. This sentence is wrong. You need to add one more word. Until conclusion of first AGM. Many students forget to write this word conclusion. The auditor appointed his appointment is valid until conclusion of first AGM. Now, what is the subsequent auditor? I told right now his appointment is over by first AGM conclusion. What is conclusion? AGM started, adjourned meeting is there, right? That will be concluded. No, that until then auditor appointment is valid. AGM over, auditor left. Now we need to appoint another auditor. No. That auditor we call him as what? Subsequent auditor. So what is the procedure for appointing subsequent auditor in case of government company? Subsequent auditor must be appointed only by C&AG. No failure topic also there here. C&AG shall appoint within 180 days from commencement of financial year. within 180 days from the commencement of financial year, 1st April onwards, within 180 days, we should appoint the auditor for the subsequent year. We should appoint the auditor for the subsequent years. Getting it? See, which means, suppose I am doing audit of financial year 2021. I'm looking for financial year 2021. Commencement date is what? 1/4/2020. Within 180 days, I should appoint the auditor. Now, if someone asks you, sir, is auditor appointed before the starting of the year or after closure of the year? None of this. Auditor is appointed middle of the year, during the year. Once he's appointed, he will start auditing. 31st March, books will be closed. He will be looking at financial statement, books, everything. Then he will give audit report. Auditor will be appointed during the year. So that's about government company, first auditor, subsequent auditor. Now let us look at non-government company. Non-government company. What is the procedure for appointment of auditor in case of non-government company? First auditor, subsequent auditor, same provision. Now, first auditor. In case of non-government company, the first auditor shall be appointed by board of directors within just 30 days from date of registration. Within 30 days from date of incorporation, board of directors shall appoint the first auditor. You know, board of directors shall inform ROC within 30 days what is the registered office of the company. That form also they should file. That is Companies Act requirement. In addition to that, auditor of the first auditor shall be appointed same within 30 days from date of registration. Suppose if board of directors fails to do so, then members of the company at an extraordinary general meeting, which shall be conducted within 90 days, getting it, shall appoint the first auditor. By the way, I told about subsequent auditor for government company, right? Subsequent auditor will be appointed within 180 days, right? Until when his appointment is valid? His appointment is valid until conclusion of next AGM. Current year, within 180 days, I will appoint. Next year, after 31st March, AGM will come, right? Until that conclusion, this auditor appointment is valid. Fine. Now coming back to non-government company. First auditor will be appointed by whom? Board of directors. Within 30 days from date of registration. Until when his appointment is, if he fails to do so, members will appoint at AGM within 90 days. Okay. So his appointment is valid until same conclusion of first AGM. Until conclusion of first AGM, his appointment is valid. Don't worry, don't confuse. I'm going to give you dates also. First, let me complete the provision. Then we'll look at interpreted dates. Okay. So until conclusion of first AGM, his appointment is valid. Now, coming to subsequent auditor. Subsequent auditor shall be appointed only by members. That too at AGM only he shall be appointed. Subsequent auditor shall be appointed by members at AGM, and his appointment is valid until conclusion of 6th AGM. Look at the word used. Until conclusion of 6th AGM, calculated from the AGM where he was appointed. 6th AGM from the AGM where appointment took place. Where appointment happened. So the subsequent auditor will be appointed only by members at AGM. His appointment is valid until conclusion of 6th AGM from the AGM where he was appointed. Suppose a company is incorporated in financial year 18-19. Let us assume date of incorporation is 10th January 2019. 10th January 2019 date of incorporation. What is the first financial year for the company? 2 clause 40. If you look at the definition of financial year, from date of incorporation to 31st March of succeeding year. If a company is incorporated during January, 1st January 2019 to 31st March 2020, that's wrong answer. 2021, you can have, okay, 10th January, right? 10th January 31st March 2021, 1st January, sorry, 2020. Yeah, 20 is correct. You need not close on 31st March 2019 itself. You need not close on 19 itself. You can wait up to 31st March 2020. If you look at the gap, no, it is more than 12 months. For first financial year can be more than 12 months. But it should end always with 31st March. Sir, can you explain what is financial year definition in detail? It's not possible because of the time we have. Okay. So now first year. What is the first financial? I'm listing out here financial year. Financial year is first financial year is 1920. What is the end date of the financial year? 31st March 2020. But here financial year 1920, but actually started when? 10th January 2019 to 31st March 2020. More than 12 months it is there. First year I'm talking about. For next year onwards, April to March. That's it. Ends on 31st March. Now let us assume 10th January 2019, right? This is the year of date of incorporation, right? Within 30 days. Let us assume auditor is appointed on 30th January 2019 itself. 30th January. Within 30 days, he is appointed by board of directors. Now, this year, no. When completes, this year completes on 31st March 2020. Books of accounts are ready by then, financials are ready by then, audit is completed when, somewhere in the June. But until audit completion is not your appointment validity. Until conclusion of AGM. This company conducted AGM on 10th September 2020. Every time AGM is, let us assume, every time company conducts on 10th September. Let us assume 10th September for next 5 years is not public holiday. Let us take an assumption. So we will have a cumulative example. So 10th September is a sentiment date for the company. Every time they will conduct AGM on 10th September. Let us assume 10th September in every year is not a Sunday, is not a public holiday. Please make this assumption. I hope you understand why I'm asking you to take this assumption. Again, you don't ask me, sir, what if it is Sunday? What if it is public? Don't ask me all that stuff. Okay. So 10th September 2020, AGM is conducted, no adjournment, everything is discussed, everything is settled. Everything is settled. AGM is concluded. So which means first auditor, appointment date, if you look at this appointment date, 30th January 2019. Year closure, 31st March 2020. What is the financial year, by the way? Financial year. This financial year is 1920. This is appointment date. Now AGM date is what? 10th September 2020. 10th September 2020. Then coming to the next one. So appointment is valid up to. Same conclusion date, 10th September 2020. Now on this date, first AGM. This is first AGM. Number of AGM. This is first AGM. 10th AGM. Auditor appointed until conclusion of first AGM. He will vacate. Now subsequent auditor is appointed in the same AGM. No, Mr. A is appointed here. Subsequent auditor is Mr. B. Let us assume 10th September 2020. 10th September 2020. Mr. B is appointed. His appointment is valid until his appointment is valid until conclusion of 6th AGM. Oh my God, 6th AGM. Let us list out what are they. Let us list out. Year close. Now he will appointed for 10th September 2020, right? First he will do audit of which year? 2021 is the first year he will do audit. What is the year closure? 31st March 2021 is the year closure. AGM will be conducted within 6 months from closing date. 10th September they conducted. So his appointment is valid up to, not applicable because this is only second AGM. He appointed in last year AGM. This is just a second AGM. Then again, no appointment again, not applicable appointment. Next year is what? 21-22 audit he will do. That year will close on 31st March 2022. AGM date is 10th September 2022. Okay, valid up to, not applicable because his appointment is valid up to 6th AGM. Whereas this is just a third AGM. Next he will do audit of 22-23. Year will close on 31st March 2023. Whereas AGM is held on 10th September 2023. Valid appointment, not applicable. This is just 4th AGM. His appointment is valid up to 5th AGM, 6th AGM. His appointment is valid up to 6th AGM. So we will list out 10th September 2024. 31st March 2024, 23, 24, then 24, 25, 31st March 25, 10th September 2025. So here appointment is valid up to 10th September 2025. Again here I kept and here I kept, if you observe. So appointment is valid up to 10th September 2025. He is appointed on 10th September 2020 in first AGM. His appointment is valid up to 10th September 2025, which is 6th AGM. In between, for how many financial years he did audit? 2021 first year, 21-22 audit is done, 22-23 audit is done, 23-24 audit is done, 24-25 audit is also done. Auditor is conducting audit of 5 financial years. He is conducting audit of 5 financial years. You see, last financial year is 24-25. Books closed on 31st March. Audit, everything is completed. AGM is also completed. Only after complete audit accounts, everything is completed, only he is vacating. Only after everything gets completed, only he is vacating. My request for you all, once again you watch this video after this session. This part you watch once again, slowly you will understand. Now, you know, in real life, no, first AGM, 6th AGM words will not be there. Suppose Reliance, no, they appointed auditor, subsequent auditor in 39th AGM. Until 39th AGM, some auditors are there. In 39th AGM, they have appointed another auditor. His appointment is valid up to 44th AGM. In 44th AGM, some other auditor is appointed. His appointment is valid up to 49th AGM. In 49th AGM, some other auditor is appointed. His appointment is valid up to 54th AGM. In real life, 1 to 6 numbers will not be there. These numbers will be there. If 39th AGM is first AGM, 44th AGM is 6th AGM. That's how it is calculated. So that's about appointment of auditor for non-government company. Now there is an important question in this. There is a formality, there is a procedural formality which companies should follow. The following certificates, the following declarations shall be obtained from the auditor whom we are going to appoint. What declarations? Before appointment is made, first you should get his written consent. He should give a consent that I am interested. You can propose my name in the AGM. That consent should be obtained. Then board resolution passed. Then I will announce his name. Then people will appoint him. Then another certificate I should get that he is eligible, not disqualified. I'm asking the auditor, are you eligible? Have you checked all the disqualification? He checked and gave me, yeah, I'm not disqualified. Again, he shall give another certificate. What are the total number of company audits right now he is doing? After accepting our company, your total number of audits is within ceiling, right? Yes, he said. So give me declaration. Then I should take another declaration. What are the pending cases against you, Mr. Auditor? You are having some cases for pending. Give me all the list of pending cases. All that you should take. Only after taking this, you can propose his name in the AGM, and AGM people will appoint. This question has been asked in November 2019 for 4 marks. Same question is there, even same certificates we even get from cost auditor also. We will get from stat auditor, cost auditor, secretarial auditor. From everyone, we will get this kind of declaration. With this, the provision is completed. Now there is 139 subsection 10, where if in any AGM, no auditor is appointed or reappointed. If no auditor is appointed or reappointed, existing auditor will continue to be the auditor of the company. But the situation practically don't come at all. Discussion about auditor is an ordinary business. Every year it will come. So there is no chance of forgetting it. Moreover, there is a concept called rotation. This provision is against rotation. So this provision practically do not apply. I hope everybody understood until now. Can you all please reply in the chat box, whoever is there? Please watch this video once again, the second session. Slowly, you please watch it once again. In YouTube, it is already there. Please watch it. And what is a government company? We already gave a definition. The next concept is casual vacancy. Let us discuss casual vacancy. Then I will discuss the concept of rotation. What is casual vacancy? Just now I told, right? Auditor will be appointed. From the date of appointment, your appointment is valid up to first AGM, subsequent AGM in case of non-government government company. In case of non-government company, subsequent auditor until conclusion of sixth AGM. So if you're appointed in first AGM, your appointment is valid up to sixth AGM. In between, if something happens to the auditor, if the auditor position become empty, now there is a auditor position is empty, right? That emptiness is called as casual vacancy. That empty position is called as, in legal terminology, it is called as, it is simply a vacancy, but legally we are habituated to call it as casual vacancy. We call it as casual vacancy. Now if casual vacancy is there, company cannot continue without auditor. Company has to somehow appoint the auditor. That vacancy company should fill somehow. So how to fill casual vacancy? How to fill casual vacancy? That is what we are going to learn. By the way, one more point. What is casual vacancy? There is a definition given. Vacancy arising on account of any reason other than expiry of term. Other than expiry. Suppose 6 AGM is over, auditor left. That is not casual vacancy. Other than expiry of term. No, not for expiry of term. Before expiry of term, auditor left. That is vacancy. So how to fill that vacancy is what covered under 139 subsection 8. What is the procedure? Filling of casual vacancy. The provision is again same, different for government company, different for non-government company. The procedure for government company, if a casual vacancy arises in government company, C&AG shall fill within 30 days. Within 30 days. C&AG shall fill within 30 days. If C&AG does not fill the vacancy, then board of directors will fill within next 30 days. Okay, sir, somehow appointed. Until when this fellow appointment is valid? Just until conclusion of next AGM. Until next AGM conclusion, he will be there. He will finish the audit of that year and then he will leave. Okay, non-government company. Sir, first of all, you didn't tell us why casual vacancy comes into the office of auditor. What is the reason, sir? Resignation. He would have resigned from the company. Resignation. Demise. He would have died. Or dissolution, or subsequent disqualification, or company only removed him under section 140. Under section 140, resignation, death of the auditor, dissolution, demise of the auditor, subsequent disqualification or removal of the auditor became insolvent or unsoundment or lunatic, whatever. So these are the broad reasons why casual vacancy arises. Why casual vacancy arises? These are the broad reasons. Now, non-government company, how to fill casual vacancy? Here, no. First, identify why auditor vacancy is there. It is due to resignation. Is it because of resignation, or is it because of any reason other than resignation? Non-resignation. What is the reason? Resignation of auditor is the reason, or non-resignation of auditor other than resignation is the reason? What is the reason why there is a vacancy? Suppose if it is other than resignation, no, auditor has died or dissolved or something, subsequent disqualification arised because of this, then board of directors will fill within 30 days. Within 30 days of vacancy, and his appointment is valid until conclusion of 6th AGM. False. Until conclusion of next AGM. Only if the auditor is appointed in an AGM, his appointment is valid up to 6th AGM. If auditor is appointed not in AGM, in somewhere he was appointed, board of directors, board meeting is appointed, his appointment is valid up to next AGM only. Sir, it is non-government company. Yes, for non-government company only next AGM, because it is casual vacancy. Sir, what if it is resignation? Board of directors only will select, but members approval is required. Members approval is required within 3 months at EGM. At EGM, members call members, let members approve the auditor you selected, because old auditor resigned and went. Tell the reasons to shareholder why he resigned. Then his appointment is valid until his appointment is valid until conclusion of same next AGM, not 6th AGM. 6th AGM concept comes only in the AGM. If auditor is appointed, his appointment is valid. So next AGM he'll vacate. No, in that AGM, Mr. C is appointed. His appointment is valid up to 6th AGM. With this, casual vacancy provision is also completed. Now, sir, now auditor resigned, right? Auditor resigned from the company, right? 140 subsection 2 deals with resignation of auditor. What is his duty, sir? How he should resign? Is there any duty for the auditor whoever resigned? Yes, there is a duty for the auditor who resigned from the company. Who resigned from the company, there is a duty for him. What is the duty? He shall first intimate to the company. He shall first intimate to the company that he resigned. Moreover, he is the one who resigned. No, he shall file a form. He shall file a form to ROC ADT 3 form within 30 days. Within 30 days, he shall file a form to ROC. In case of government company, you should also inform to C&AG. This is the requirement auditor should follow as per 140 subsection 2 when he resigned from the company. See, in this chapter, we get 4 forms: ADT 1, 2, ADT 3, 4. 1 and 2 are filed by company. 3 and 4 are filed by auditor. Just remember, 1 and 2 are filed by company. 3 and 4 are filed by auditor. 3 and 4 are filed by auditor. 3 for resignation. 4 for informing government about fraud. 2, removal of auditor. 1, appointment of auditor. When company appointed the auditor, company is the one taking the appointment. So, company will inform. Company is the one which is removing. So, company will inform. Auditor is the one who is resigning. So, auditor will inform. Auditor is the one who is informing to government about fraud. So, he has to file. ADT 1 time limit is 15 days. ADT 2 time limit is 30 days. ADT 3 time limit is 30 days. ADT 4 time limit is 60 days. I will discuss at respect to places. So the one who resigned, this is the duty. Sir, what if, sir, auditor fails to inform ROC? Auditor failed to inform ROC, sir. ADT 3 form he did not file. There is a penalty under 140 subsection 3. What is the penalty? You know, what is the remuneration you got? What is the remuneration you got? Or 50,000 rupees, whichever is lower. Whichever is lower. But if the case is severe, auditor may extend it up to 5 lakh. This is, see, actually, penalty is here, fixed penalty plus variable penalty, both are there. Under 140 subsection 3, recently, 2 years ago, variable penalty is also introduced. What is fixed penalty? 50,000 or auditor remuneration, whichever is lower. This is fixed amount. Plus, you are delaying, in filing form. You are delaying, in filing form. Within 30 days, you have to delay. Within 30 days, you have to file, right? From 31st day onwards, every day, 500 rupees fine will be added. Every day, per day, 500 rupees. Suppose, your remuneration is 40,000 rupees. You resigned from company. You resigned from company on somewhere 1st March. Let us assume 1st March you resigned. Logically speaking, by 30th March you should intimate. But when you intimated to the company and ROC, everybody, you intimated on, let us assume 15th May. You intimated on 15th May. Now, what is the delay? 30th March, you need to intimate. So 30th March, you didn't intimate. 31st March onwards delay. March 1 day, April 30 days, May 15 days. Total 46 days. What is the penalty? Remuneration 40 or 50, whichever is lower. Fixed penalty is 40,000 plus how many days delay? 46 days multiplied by 500 is equal to 23,000. Total penalty is 63,000 auditor has to pay as per 140 subsection 5. So 500 penalty per day for continuing failure. That is the word which they say. 30 days no failure. 31st day onward failure. Every day is a continuing failure. Per day 500 rupees. Fixed penalty, variable penalty, both are there. I hope everyone understood. Everyone kindly reply me. All of you? Yes. Yeah. So 1 minute, I'll just have water. So the next one, rotation of auditors. Rotation of auditor. What do you mean by rotation of auditor? Compulsory change of auditor. Compulsory change of auditor. This concept of rotation, the concept of rotation of auditor is applicable for all companies listed, public, private. But some criteria they gave, some turnover criteria, capital criteria, loans criteria they gave. Based on that criteria, rotation of auditors is applicable for certain specific companies. Fine. Now, if for my company rotation is applicable, what is the procedure? What is meant by rotation? See, rotation is introduced to eliminate familiarity threat. To eliminate familiarity threat. What is familiarity? Suppose if I'm acting as an auditor for one company from past 10-15 years, I may not be independent later. I will be favoring the company every time. We are getting so close bonding. My independence of mind is affected. Of course, I don't have shares. I don't have any relative. But our friendship, because of the familiarity, my independence of mind will affect. That's why rotation is important. Rotation of duties is important. Strategic management principle you would have learned in strategic management. Rotation of duties is very important. Same way here also. Auditor duty also change it. Rotate the auditors also. So rotation means changing the auditor. Now, what is the manner of rotation? What is the, when rotation is applicable? What is the principle of rotation? It is applicable for certain companies. They have given criteria. Listed company, public company subject to criteria, private company subject to some criteria. Now, what is the concept of rotation? What the rotation law says? An individual cannot be appointed as an auditor. By the way, we are discussing this rotation concept only for non-government company. For government company, change of auditors, everything will be taken care by C&AG. We don't have in syllabus rotation for government company. Rotation is only for non-government company. We are discussing 139 subsection 2 to subsection 4. We are discussing only for non-government company. And non-government company, we all know how auditor is appointed. Subsequent auditor for 5 years. An auditor is appointed in first stage, his appointment is valid up to 6th stage. Yes or no? Now, so an individual in case of non-government company where rotation is applicable, he cannot be appointed for more than one term of 5 consecutive years. One term of 5 consecutive years. One term of 5 consecutive years. We cannot appoint an individual for more than one term of 5 consecutive years. Suppose, sir, we are having a partnership firm as an auditor, sir. We are not appointing an individual. We are appointing a partnership firm as an auditor. In case of partnership firm or LLP is the auditor, we cannot appoint or reappoint more than 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. Now here there are some terms which you need to understand. Rotation, removal, retiring, outgoing auditor, incoming auditor. These are some terms which you need to understand before we discuss further. Rotation means you are just changing the auditor. Removal means auditor has done some fraud or something, you are removing him under 140 subsection 1. Okay. Retiring means what? You appointed auditor for 5 years. 6th AGM conclusion is about to come. He is retiring on the date. He is leaving the company. No, he is retiring. Outgoing means what? Suppose he is retiring. No, you felt we will reappoint the same fellow. Retiring auditor is reappointed. You are reappointing him. You are reappointing him for another term. For you, rotation do not apply. That's why you are reappointing. So retiring auditor is reappointed, but we didn't reappoint. Let us assume we didn't reappoint. He is leaving. Outgoing. He left. And we are appointing new auditor. No, incoming. Resignation means auditor himself resigned and went. That is resignation. I hope you understood the difference between retiring, reappointment, outgoing, rotation, removal, resignation. I hope you understood the difference here. Rotation means you are changing auditor. Remove means company only removing before expiry of term. Retiring means Time limit is over. Auditor appointment period is over. Okay, if he reappoint, fine. Otherwise, he is leaving the company, outgoing. New auditor incoming, resignation. Existing auditor, he only went on his own. He didn't. He just informed the company and went on his own. So these are the basic terms. Now again, coming back to the rotation, an individual cannot be appointed for more than, he cannot be appointed for more than one term of 5 consecutive years. A partnership firm cannot be appointed as auditor for more than 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. A partnership firm cannot be appointed for more than 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. What does it mean? What does it mean? Suppose my company X Limited, for me rotation applies. 39th AGM to 44th AGM, Mr. A individual is the auditor. 44th AGM to 44th AGM to 49th AGM, I want to reappoint Mr. A only. He is retiring at 44th. I want to reappoint him only. I cannot, because he already completed 5 years. He already completed 5 years. So I cannot appoint him. I will bring B. 49th AGM to 44th AGM. Can I reappoint B? No. Can I come back to A? Yes. An auditor who completed rotation, one term of 5 years, he will have cooling period of 5 years. He should not be appointed for the company for 5 years. After 5 years, can we appoint him? Yes. Sir, what is the cooling period for partnership firm, sir? Partnership firm also 5 years only. Suppose I have appointed partnership firm for 39 to 44. They completed. I reappointed 44 to 49. Yes, sir, rotation applicable. Still I reappointed. 2 terms I can appoint. No. So 10 years over. Now I want to appoint him I want to appoint the same partnership from 49 to 54. Can I do? No, you can't do. You need to give 5 years cooling period. Now, can I appoint them from 54 to 59? Can I come back to yes, you can come back. Again, 59 to 64, you can appoint. 64 to 69, stop it. 69 to 74, again appoint. 74 to 79, you can appoint. 79 to 84, don't appoint. I hope you understood how the rotation should be done. That is the rotation. So, what does the provision says? An auditor who is an individual who completed one term of 5 consecutive years, he cannot be appointed. A partnership firm which completed 2 terms of 5 consecutive years, which completes 2 terms of 5 consecutive years, 2 terms of 5 years, it is completed. Okay, that is also not eligible. For how many years they are not eligible? 5 years. Now we have certain queries here. Sir, we appointed in 39th AGM auditor, sir. Up to 44th AGM, his appointment is valid. Somewhere in the 43rd AGM, he resigned from the company, sir. We brought another auditor under casual vacancy in the 43rd. Not in AGM, but somewhere between we brought up in between. Okay, now this casual vacancy auditor, his appointment is valid up to 44th AGM, right? Now in 44th AGM, sir, he is an individual. The company want to appoint the new auditor. Casual vacancy, one auditor came. No, he's very good, sir. So company felt they want to appoint up to 49th AGM, sir. Can the company do so? Yes. Sir, now he already did 1 year, no, sir, here. Some 7 or 8 months he did, no. And moreover here another 5. It is more than 5 years, no, sir. Casual vacancy, auditor appointed under casual vacancy, shall not be considered for rotation. Shall not be considered for rotation time limit purpose. Same way, when you are acting as first auditor for the company, first auditorship time limit is also not considered. When you are acting as first auditor, that first auditorship time limit is also not considered. But actually this is debatable. Some say yes, some say no. It is debatable. No concrete case on this. That's it. Sir, this auditor resigned and went. No. Again, he came back on 44th AGM, sir. He wants to serve for 5 years. Can he do so? Again, it is debatable. I can say yes or I can say no. Both I can argue. So debatable. No concrete case and clarification on this. See, rotation is applicable only when you complete 5 years. Then 5 years you should not. Suppose if at all you left in between, again you came back. Can you do for 5 years? You can do, literally speaking. This is debatable. I'm saying this is debatable. Understand the intention of the law. Intention of the law is what? If auditor is having long association, his independence will affect. If this is the case, if this is the intention, why you appoint him once again? Don't appoint. You know the intention of the law, right? Spirit of the law is more important than the letter of the law. Follow the spirit of the law. That's it. So this is about rotation. Now, you need to take certain precautions. You need to take certain precautions. When you are doing rotation of auditor, you have to take certain precautions. What are the precautions that you have to take? What precautions you have to take? Precaution number 1. Now we have appointed a firm, no? Now that firm is going, outgoing audit firm. Now we are appointing new firm, no? Incoming audit firm. Suppose if in these firms, no, there is a common partner, then incoming firm is also disqualified for 5 years. Don't appoint them because common partner is there. Precaution 2. Precaution 2. Outgoing audit firm is there, no? In that partner, no, came out. He joined an incoming firm. He joined an income. No, it is not a common partner, sir. He left here and joined, not a common partner. Then also incoming auditor disqualified. Yes, they are disqualified. They cannot be appointed. They cannot be appointed. And precaution 3. Firms falling under same network. Same network. Network means not Jio Airtel, okay? Same network. KPMG, ENY, Grant Thornton, Deloitte, okay, PwC, AGN, getting it. So BDO, there are so many network firms like KPMG is there, but there have with KPMG there are 10 firms associated. KPMG Chennai, KPMG Mumbai, KPMG Delhi, KPMG Kolkata, KPMG Bangalore, KPMG Hyderabad. Suppose for our company KPMG Hyderabad is the auditor. 5 years over, 10 years over. Rotation applicable. Now I want to appoint KPMG Delhi. They both are belonging to same network. No, same brand name, same trade name they are using. No, I disqualify him. He is not eligible for appointment. He is not eligible for appointment. These are the precautions you have to take. If a break in service of 5 years comes, no, that's enough. You can appoint him later. But break of 5 years should be there. For those who completed one term of 5 years, those who completed partnership firms, 2 terms of 5 years. The break is important. Before I proceed further, have you all understood? With this, rotation concept is also over. Rotation concept is also over. See, the reason I'm speeding up company audit is there are plenty of videos available on company audit. I don't think there are much doubts for students in company audit. Only as a formality I'm covering here. We will give major attention for next chapter, audit reporting, which is most important. Okay, now removal of auditor. Removal of auditor before expiry of term. Removal of auditor before expiry of term. Of course, that's when removal comes. Term is over, he is leaving. Why you have to remove? He is only leaving. So there is no concept of removal after expiry of term. You can remove him only before expiry of term. Removal of auditor before expiry of term is broadly divided into 2 parts. 140 subsection 1, 140 subsection 5. 140 subsection 1 by company, 140 subsection by 5 by NCLT. When auditor will be removed by NCLT, when auditor will be removed by company. If an auditor has to be removed before expiry of term by the company, first board resolution is required. Within 60 days, central government approval is required. Sorry, within 30 days, central government approval is required. Then within 60 days from the date of approval, within 60 days, company shall conduct EGM. Company shall conduct EGM and pass special resolution. First, board of directors decide, let us remove the auditor because of so and so misconduct. File a form with central government, ADT3 form you file. Sorry, ADT2 form you file. Describing these are the reasons. Government gave approval. Within 60 days, conduct EGM, pass special resolution, auditor is removed. Now auditor removed, no? And now vacancy is, no, this is casual vacancy. Board of directors can fill it. Board of directors can fill it. Next. So that is a removal of auditor by company. Now next one, NCLT. 140 subsection 5 NCLT, removal by NCLT. If an auditor is proven guilty of fraud or colluded with the company, if the auditor is proven guilty of fraud or colluded with the company to deceive others, outsiders, investors, if it is proven by NCLT will pass an order to change the auditor. At that time, auditor will be changed. Now, the auditor who has been removed by NCLT, no, he is prohibited for acting as auditor in any company for a period of 5 years because he is convicted as fraud by NCLT. You remember disqualifications? If the conviction is by court, then it is for 10 years. Conviction is by NCLT, then it is for 5 years. So 140 is also completed. 140 is also completed. Section 140 is also completed. So in 140, we have totally 5 subsections. Subsection 1, subsection 2, subsection 3, subsection 4, subsection 5. Removal by auditor, NCLT completed. Resignation of auditor, removal by company completed. 140 subsection 4. This is change of auditor by special notice. Change of auditor by special notice. I will add this this video. There is a concept called change of auditor by special notice. I have a old video why to discuss here, but that's a detailed video. I will add that video into the playlist in YouTube. You please watch later. That's it. Now there is a doubt from one of the student. In case of appointment of first auditor for non-government, if board fails, then members of the company can appoint within 90 days at EGM, right? Yes. Is this 90 days inclusive of original 30 days or not? That's the question. See, in case of non-government company, first auditor shall be appointed by board within 30 days from date of registration. If they fail, then within 90 days, members will appoint at EGM. This 90 days is from incorporation date, not next 90 days, not next. The law is silent on that. If board of directors fails, members will appoint within 90 days, they said, which means it shall be calculated from registration date, which means technically speaking, next 60 days only time limit is given. That's it. But you also don't mention all this. If board of directors fails to appoint within 30 days, just try cleverly. Members will appoint within 90 days at EGM. That's it. Don't mention next to that and all. You also be clear. Sometimes when the law is not clear, you also mention the answer without clarity. That's it. But logically speaking, 90 days will be calculated from date of registration. That's it. With this, company audit chapter is completed. Now you may get a doubt, sir. What about branch auditor appointment? What about rights and duties of the auditor? Right? What about audit reporting, fraud reporting, like central government more than 1 crore fraud, all that? Don't worry, my dear. All these items I am going to cover as part of audit reporting. If you observe, we have completed up to removal, rotation is also done. Procedure for removal before expiry of term, that is completed. Tribunal removal is completed. So now here onwards, rights and duties of auditor, question number 12 onwards only pending. Question number up to 11 I completed fully. Only from question number 12 it is pending. These are all something that we need to discuss as part of audit reporting. When we are discussing audit reporting, these items will come. Tomorrow is most important session. Okay, next 2 or 3 days is most important session. Don't miss at all. Yes. So carry on for the day. Have a nice time.